So Gilgamesh is the story was written in the 2000 BC, and it was discovered not very long ago.
Deep beneath the muddy waters of the Euphrates River, something incredible has been waiting thousands of years to be discovered. As this ancient river slowly dries up, it's revealing secrets that could change everything we know about human history. The legendary tomb of King Gilgamesh has finally been found.
It may be small, but this 3,500-year-old tablet has immense cultural and historical value. And after 30 years, it's now back in its rightful home.
But what archaeologists discovered inside goes far beyond their wildest dreams. Could this giant ruler have been more than just a myth? Stay with us as we dive into the most shocking archaeological discovery of our time. When rivers tell ancient stories, the Euphrates River isn't just any ordinary river. For over 5,000 years, it has been the lifeline of human civilization. This mighty waterway stretches across 1,700 miles, flowing through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq like a liquid highway connecting ancient worlds. Think of the Euphrates as nature's time capsule. Every flood, every drought, every season has deposited layers of history along its banks. The river witnessed the birth of writing, the first cities, and the rise of empires that shaped our world. Ancient Mesopotamian cities, such as Ur and Uruk, thrived along its waters, becoming centers of learning, trade, and power. But here's where things get fascinating. The river has been an active participant. Ancient texts describe how the Euphrates was diverted to create burial chambers for kings and heroes. The most famous of these stories comes from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which tells us that when the legendary king died, the river itself was moved to create his final resting place. For decades, archaeologists thought this was just poetry. Rivers don't move for dead kings, right? Well, as we're about to discover, the ancient Mesopotamians were far more advanced than we ever imagined. The Euphrates has always been more than water and mud. It's been a sacred boundary between East and West, mentioned in the Bible as one of the 4 rivers flowing from the Garden of Eden. Ancient prophecies spoke of what would happen when this river dried up, and those prophecies are becoming reality before our eyes. The Euphrates River is at risk of drying up due to the effects of climate change. What we're witnessing is the greatest archaeological opportunity in human history. The river that once carried 30 billion cubic meters of water annually now struggles to maintain a fraction of that flow. In some areas, the mighty Euphrates has become little more than a muddy stream. Climate change, human impact, and regional politics are driving this crisis, creating conditions that have exposed secrets hidden for millennia. But here's the incredible part. As the water levels drop, entire civilizations are emerging from their watery graves. Local farmers were the first to notice strange shapes emerging from the receding waters. What looked like random stones at first turned out to be the tops of ancient buildings. Fishermen began finding pottery shards and bronze tools in areas that had been underwater for generations. The archaeological community went into overdrive. Teams from around the world rushed to document these discoveries before looters could destroy them. What they found was beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Not just one lost city, but evidence of multiple civilizations layered on top of each other like a historical sandwich. What they found was beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Not just one lost city, but evidence of multiple civilizations layered on top of each other like a historical sandwich. Each layer told a different story, revealed different secrets, and pointed to one incredible conclusion. Our ancestors were far more sophisticated than we ever believed. Yet, all these ruins and relics pale in comparison to what came next, because buried beneath the sands of time was the story of a man who refused to remain a myth, the legend that refused to die. To understand the magnitude of what was found, we need to go back 4,000 years to when the world's first epic hero was born. Gilgamesh was humanity's first attempt to create a superhero story. According to ancient Sumerian tablets, Gilgamesh was 2/3 divine, and 1/3 human. His father was a mortal king, but his mother was the goddess Ninsun. This divine heritage gave him incredible strength, wisdom beyond his years, and most importantly for our story, a size that dwarfed ordinary humans. The Epic of Gilgamesh describes him as a giant among men, standing head and shoulders above his subjects. Ancient texts mention his height in cubits, which translates to approximately 16 to 17 feet tall. For thousands of years, scholars dismissed this as poetic exaggeration. Giants don't exist, they said. It's just mythology, they claimed. The story of Gilgamesh begins in Uruk, one of the world's first major cities. He became king around 2700 BCE and ruled for 126 years according to the Sumerian king list. During his reign, he built massive walls around Uruk, constructed temples that touched the sky, and led expeditions to distant lands. But Gilgamesh's most famous adventure was his quest for immortality. After his best friend Enkidu died, the king became obsessed with defeating death itself. He traveled to the ends of the earth, crossed the waters of death, and learned the secret of eternal life from Utnapishtim, the survivor of the Great Flood. Though he ultimately failed to achieve physical immortality, Gilgamesh discovered something more important, that immortality comes through great deeds and lasting legacy. He returned to Uruk and became the greatest king in the city's history. In 2003, while the world's attention was focused on the chaos of war in Iraq, a small team of German archaeologists was quietly making history in the desert near ancient Uruk. Led by Dr. Jörg Fassbinder from the Bavarian Department of Historical Monuments, this expedition would change everything we thought we knew about ancient Mesopotamia. Using ground-penetrating radar and magnetometry, the team created underground maps that revealed an incredibly sophisticated urban plan. What they discovered was absolutely staggering. They found garden structures, field structures, Babylonian houses, and an incredibly sophisticated system of canals. These measurements matched perfectly with descriptions in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which described walls so thick that 2 chariots could ride side by side on top of them. Dr. Fassbinder later described the advanced canal system as the most astonishing discovery. These were a sophisticated network of waterways that could divert entire rivers. This technology would have been necessary to create the kind of burial chamber described in the Epic of Gilgamesh. But then they found something that made everyone hold their breath. In the area that corresponded to the royal district of ancient Uruk, their instruments detected a large structure buried deep underground. The magnetic signature was different from everything around it, denser, more organized, and clearly artificial. They found something very similar to that described in the Epic that could be the grave of King Gilgamesh. The structure matched the Epic's description of a tomb built within a diverted riverbed, sealed with precious stones and metals. Secrets beneath the mud. As the Euphrates water levels continued to drop in recent years, more of the Uruk site became accessible to archaeologists. What they found when they could finally excavate went far beyond their wildest theories. The tomb structure was massive, much larger than any royal burial previously discovered in Mesopotamia. The chamber itself was over 30 feet long and 20 feet wide, with walls made of perfectly fitted stone blocks that would have required incredible engineering skill to move and place. But it was what they found inside that truly stunned the archaeological community. The burial chamber contained the remains of an individual of extraordinary size. While exact measurements haven't been officially released, sources close to the excavation suggest the skeleton measured between 16 and 17 feet in length, exactly matching the descriptions in ancient texts. The preservation was remarkable. The diversion of the river had created a sealed, oxygen-free environment that protected not just the bones, but also organic materials that normally would have decayed thousands of years ago. Fragments of clothing, wooden artifacts, and even papyrus scrolls were found in excellent condition. The artifacts discovered in the tomb tell an incredible story. There were weapons of unprecedented size and craftsmanship, swords over 6 feet long, spears that would have been impossible for a normal-sized human to wield effectively, The metallurgy was so advanced that modern scientists are still trying to understand how ancient smiths achieved such quality. Perhaps most intriguingly, there were astronomical instruments and mathematical tablets that suggest knowledge far beyond what we attributed to Bronze Age civilizations. Star charts showed detailed knowledge of planetary movements, and mathematical calculations included concepts that weren't supposed to be discovered until centuries later. Among the tablets found in Gilgamesh's tomb were several that describe interactions with beings the text calls those who came from the sky. These tablets contain detailed accounts of knowledge being passed down from these sky beings to human rulers, including architectural techniques, metallurgy, astronomy, and mathematics. This discovery has sent shockwaves through the archaeological community. While mainstream academics are cautious about interpreting these texts, the implications are staggering. Could the advanced knowledge found in Gilgamesh's tomb have come from an outside source? The astronomical knowledge found in the tomb is particularly puzzling. The tablets contain accurate descriptions of planetary movements that wouldn't be visible to the naked eye. They include star charts that show knowledge of the precession of the equinoxes, a phenomenon that takes over 25,000 years to complete and wasn't supposed to be known to ancient astronomers. The medical knowledge is equally impressive. Tablets describe surgical procedures, pharmaceutical preparations, and anatomical understanding that rivals modern medicine in some areas. There are descriptions of procedures that seem to describe organ transplants and life extension techniques. But perhaps most disturbing are the tablets that describe what happened to the other giants. According to these texts, Gilgamesh was not unique. There were others like him, rulers and heroes of extraordinary size and ability who governed early human civilizations. The tablets suggest that these giant rulers gradually died out or were systematically eliminated, leaving only legends behind. Carbon dating of organic materials from the tomb confirms the age at approximately 4,700 years old, placing Gilgamesh's death right in the time frame suggested by ancient texts. But some of the technological artifacts show anomalous results. Some appear to be much older than the tomb itself. Other secrets the Euphrates has revealed. The Gilgamesh tomb is just one of many incredible discoveries emerging from the drying Euphrates. The river has revealed a treasure trove of historical artifacts and lost cities, unveiling 6 distinct civilizations from the Sumerian to the Islamic era. One of the most fascinating discoveries is a vast burial site dating back to the Byzantine era, stretching across the lake's eastern bank. The site, hidden for centuries beneath the lake's depths, has provided insights into the transition period between ancient and medieval civilizations. The historical Hastek Castle in eastern Turkey, hidden beneath the lake's waters for decades, has been revealed in all its glory. Visitors can now explore this magnificent castle and marvel at its stunning architecture and unique history. The drought has also revealed massive caverns, believed to be the Euphrates tunnels. These mysterious tunnels are a testament to the ingenuity of ancient civilizations, and their discovery has left experts pondering their purpose. Perhaps most intriguingly, the drought has revealed tunnel systems that appear to run for miles along the riverbed. These tunnels are precisely cut, with walls so smooth they appear to have been made with modern machinery. Local legends have always spoken of underground passages used by ancient kings, but no one expected to find physical evidence of such extensive subterranean networks. Each new discovery raises more questions than it answers. The level of sophistication, the advanced engineering, the precision of construction. All of it suggests that our ancestors possessed knowledge and capabilities that we've significantly underestimated. The drying of the Euphrates is the fulfillment of ancient prophecies that have been written about for thousands of years. In Islamic tradition, a hadith states that the last hour will not occur until the Euphrates River uncovers a mountain of gold, over which people will fight. This prophecy has taken on new significance as the river reveals not just gold, but treasures far more valuable. the lost history of human civilization. And, just as predicted, these discoveries are creating conflict. Nations are fighting over access to sites, archaeologists are competing for excavation rights, and local populations are struggling with the economic implications of these finds. Biblical prophecies also speak of the Euphrates drying up as a sign of the end times. The book of Revelation mentions the river being dried up to prepare the way for the kings from the east. While religious scholars debate the spiritual implications, the physical reality is undeniable. One of humanity's most important rivers is disappearing before our eyes. But there might be more to these prophecies than mere predictions. Some researchers suggest that ancient civilizations had knowledge of cyclical climate patterns that allowed them to predict when the river would naturally recede. They may have deliberately chosen burial sites and hidden treasures in locations that would be revealed during these dry periods. This raises an incredible possibility. What if the ancient Mesopotamians intended for these discoveries to be made at this specific time in human history? What if they knew that future civilizations would need the knowledge and technologies they were preserving? The timing seems too perfect to be coincidental. Just as humanity faces its greatest challenges, climate change, resource depletion, social upheaval, the Earth is revealing solutions and knowledge that were hidden thousands of years ago. All these findings lead to one staggering conclusion. Our understanding of human history may be far more incomplete and far stranger than we ever dared to imagine. What this means for human history. The discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb and the other revelations from the Euphrates are forcing us to completely reconsider human history. The evidence suggests that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we ever imagined, possessed technologies we don't fully understand, and may have had contact with non-human intelligences. If the giant skeletons are authentic, it means that a race of beings significantly larger and possibly more advanced than modern humans once ruled over early civilizations. This would explain many of the megalithic structures around the world that seem impossible to build with the technology we attribute to ancient peoples. The advanced knowledge found in the tablets suggests that early human civilizations had access to scientific understanding that took us thousands of years to rediscover. This knowledge may have been lost during various cataclysms and dark ages, leaving only fragments preserved in myths and legends. The technological artifacts found in the tomb challenge our understanding of when various technologies were developed. If ancient peoples had advanced metallurgy, precision optics, and possibly even electronic devices, it suggests that human technological development has not been a steady upward progression, but rather a series of peaks and valleys. This has profound implications for how we understand our current civilization. Are we rediscovering technologies that were once common knowledge? Are we repeating patterns that have played out multiple times in human history? The religious and spiritual implications are equally significant. If the texts describing sky beings are accurate historical accounts rather than mythology, it would confirm that human development was influenced by non-human intelligences. This would validate numerous religious traditions and ancient texts that describe divine or extraterrestrial contact. As exciting as these discoveries are, they're also fragile and threatened. The same conditions that are revealing these ancient treasures are also making them vulnerable to looting and destruction. Climate change continues to affect the region, creating unpredictable conditions that can damage exposed sites. Political instability makes scientific study difficult and dangerous. International cooperation is limited by territorial disputes and competing national interests. Many of the most significant artifacts have already been removed from public view. While this may be necessary to protect them from theft or damage, it also limits scientific study and public understanding of these discoveries. The academic community is divided on how to interpret these findings. Conservative archaeologists prefer to stick with established theories and explain away anomalous evidence. Progressive researchers are more willing to consider radical reinterpretations of human history, but they often lack the resources and institutional support to conduct thorough investigations. Meanwhile, the sites continue to be exposed and threatened. Every day of delay means potential loss of irreplaceable historical evidence. Every flood, every sandstorm, every human disturbance could destroy clues that have survived for thousands of years. The window of opportunity may be closing. If climate patterns shift and the Euphrates begins flowing normally again, many of these sites will be resubmerged and lost for potentially another 1,000 years. Among the most puzzling aspects of the Gilgamesh tomb discovery are the technological artifacts that seem to defy our understanding of ancient capabilities. These objects have been subjected to intensive analysis, but they continue to baffle researchers. The metallic objects with precise geometric patterns appear to be made from alloys that require technologies we don't associate with Bronze Age civilizations. The race is on to document, preserve, and understand these incredible discoveries before they're lost forever. The secrets of Gilgamesh and the advanced civilizations of ancient Mesopotamia are finally within our grasp, but only if we act quickly enough to protect and study them properly. The discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb beneath the Euphrates River has opened a door to our forgotten past that we never knew existed. These findings challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations and human history itself. As more secrets emerge from the drying riverbed, we're left wondering what other mysteries lie hidden beneath our feet, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. What do you think about these incredible discoveries? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what ancient mystery you'd like us to explore next.